Welcome to the Hitmakers Room, where the stories behind the hits come to life. I'm Steve Owens, and every episode we sit down with producers, artists, engineers, songwriters, and music legends that have helped shape the soundtracks of our lives. From platinum records to breakthrough moments, you'll hear the stories, the lessons, and the conversations you won't find anywhere else. So grab your headphones. You're officially in the Hitmakers Room. I've got SouLfia Perez King. Comes from a legendary family. Solomon Burke King as her grandfather, William Mickey Stevenson, her uncle, Smokey Robinson as well. And she's just got great heritage behind her. So she's got a lot to live up to as an artist. How's that been for you?
You know what? It's so funny. I think I probably text you a couple days ago. Like sometimes I don't even like to tell people my family. I like want to earn my own way, my own. So sometimes it can be a challenge. But growing up in the music industry my whole life, I guess I would say like being around all the greats. You just can't half do anything, and you're all in, and you can't sing something if you don't mean it. So yeah.
Looking back over the past year, what do you think really happened in your career and what were highlights?
Ooh, the past year was great. I met my incredible manager, Mr. Steve Owens himself, the GOAT.
Okay.
Um, so I can honestly say I've been able to create without worrying about administrative things. And it's funny because I attended Esena and I performed and I actually met you there.
Mhm.
And I went home the next day and I prayed and then I talked to my uncle. I said, "Hey, Uncle Mick, I've been looking for management and I know, you're really busy and you guys are kind of like doing so many things, you don't have time. But I met someone named Steve Owens and his spirit is just like the first day we met, we vibed and I really just want to like see if he'd be interested in managing me." So my uncle says, "Closed mouths don't get fed." He was like, "You need to just ask." And so I'm so glad I did because when you creating music, you don't want to have to worry about any of the administrative part. You want to be able to just create. So this year has been one of the greatest years so far. But yeah, I feel like this year has flown by way too fast. It's almost August and I'm working on another Christmas single. Yeah, this has been an awesome year. That was a great question.
And you also missed one of your biggest accolades of the year, and that was performing for the NFL for Super Bowl.
Oh, for the Super Bowl in February. Yeah, when I got that call, I was like, "Seriously?" They're like, "Yes." And then when I got there, I was opening up for Ashanti, so it was really cool. I just feel like that was yesterday, even though it's like coming into late summer. Yeah, this year is going by so fast. And sometimes I work so much that I forget about the high moments. But that was just an incredible moment that I'll always cherish and never forget.
And you also have some even bigger news, and that is your song is up for Grammy consideration.
Yes, I'm so excited for this song. So when I got the call, I was already familiar with Lucid. He is a contemporary inspirational artist, and I already listened to his music. So I was like, he wants me to feature on this song. This song is out already, so they wanted to do a remix because the song had done really well. And so I was so excited. I'm like, yes, let's do it. And Dojo, one of the producers that I worked with, was like, let's lay vocal, listen to what he's laid so far for the remix and then see how you feel. So I collaborated with Cassie, one of my writer friends. She's also African, just like Lucid. So it was like the perfect collab. And it's such a vibe. Like I'm Hispanic, I'm Dominican, so it's like an Afro beat. So a lot of people love this song. It's like an everyday song. So thank you, Grammy Awards, for just allowing this song to be in such an awesome category. I just want to make music that makes the world a better place, and that's definitely one of those songs.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received from your family or mentors?
Never sing something you don't mean. You have to sing these records for the rest of your life. I have to give you guys a example. My grandfather is King Solomon Burke. I think in the early 60s, Atlantic Records, Jerry Wexler was like, "Hey, Solomon, we want you to sing this song. It's called Hang On Snoopy, Snoopy Hang On." And my grandfather was like, "I'm not going to sing about Snoopy in a cartoon." And he was like, he didn't want to sing the song. So they gave it to another artist and it went like triple platinum like first week and the song just did incredible. And so my grandfather always said, "Sing only music and only words and only songs that you mean because you want to feel them from your soul and you have to sing them for the rest of your life. And I say all that to say I always, like, wanted to ask him years later, "Did you regret not singing Hang On, Snoopy, Snoopy, Hang On?" But I never asked him. So just always remember, like, I'm always going to feel and have emotion in anything that I record so that you guys can feel what I feel.
It's interesting that you brought up emotions because that is the number one problem with AI music is the vocalist on those tracks cannot bring emotions. And that's we're not going to see a replacement of real singers anytime soon because of that particular thing. A computer cannot recreate an emotion on a moment. ChatGPT said probably 10 years from now it's a different kind of a story, but at the current stage, nothing's going to change on that. Mickey Stevenson has worked with some of the greatest people in the music business. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from working with him?
I would have to say, driving back from Uncle Smokey's concert at the Hollywood Bowl this weekend, I'm just learning so many, like, nuggets of wisdom. Winners never stop swinging. I mean, at 90 years old, he is still closing deals, he's writing scripts, he's working on so many different pieces of his legacy, even still. 9 decades of music, that's a long time. So I'm so inspired by, my uncle to just know, like, Marvin Gaye used to live with him, and, like, he signed him, and he founded Stevie Wonder, like, all these amazing things that he's done, but at the end of the day, he's, like, just my uncle, and so, like, I don't really look at it like, "Oh, this it's like a big deal, but, growing up in the family that I grew up in, we're just very, very loving. And I'm so grateful that I can ask him for all kinds of advice because he's really a stickler when it comes to music. He's like, no, you need to sing that again. I don't care if you have to do it 100 times. It needs to be right in pocket. The timing needs to be there and the emotion needs to be there. So he's always on me, which I'm super grateful for because if you don't know, you don't know, and you can't grow without the greats. So at 89, 90, his ears are still
And he also gave you a piece of advice about performing as well.
I've always been a natural performer. I've been on stage with my grandfather touring the world for since I was like 17 years old, and that for a very long time. I performed at the biggest festivals in the world, opened up for some of the greats, Glastonbury, Bonnaroo, all the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. I've never had any stage fright or fear on stage. Like that is like, I actually enjoy live performances better than the studio, which might sound a little crazy, but I love to recreate the song with the energy of the fans and the people. And, a lot of times I'll take up the tempo so people can dance and have a good time. So performing is like, that's my thing. I've also spent some time on Broadway. So just, having the energy is just like it's a priceless feeling. Obviously, studio is a very important part of obviously every singer's career. And I enjoy that as well, the creative process. But performing, such a great time.
You've actually had the opportunity to work with some of the original writers of Motown. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So Holler Doja Holland, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. They have so many hits. That's just like one of them that popped into my head right now. They're like in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so one day Brian came to me and said, hey, I have these songs that you would sound incredible on. And so I went to the studio and the writing just brings you to tears. That experience was priceless because I learned one thing. When you're creating a hit record, you have to start with the chords and the beginning of the song every single time. So obviously the songs were already written when we went in the studio. However, Brian kept getting on the engineer and the accompanist. No, I need those chords to sound the same so people can remember this hook. You got to remember this hook. In the first 5 seconds, 10 seconds of the song, they need to know this melody. So he would play the melody of the chorus in the beginning of the song. So that was a really cool piece. So now all my songs are formatted and structured that way.
He's not the only one. Niles Rodgers did that when he was creating Le Freak and Good Times. He talks about it. It's with the chorus in the beginning of the song so people remember it immediately. When you're recording a song, what tells you that you captured the right vocal take?
That is a really good question, Steve.
That's why I ask it.
If you don't cry and you don't feel, then it's not it. And I'll be honest, I struggled with that for a while because, you know, just genetically, because of my DNA, I was born to know how to sing. So they call me like a tape recorder. So whatever notes you hit on the piano, I hear them, I know them. I can just sound like anybody. Say you want to hear Whitney Houston. You want me to sing I Will Always Love You just like Whitney Houston. I can do that. I can sound like Shaka Khan, Aretha, whoever you need because I just like have really good tone and really good pitch. But at the same time, whenever you're singing something, the emotion has to be there. So sometimes I have to light a candle. I have to take a minute. I have to maybe walk outside because I feel like the recording process it's a vibe and it's a certain synergy that you have to be. Now, if it's not a love song, if it's a heartbreak song, you got to get mad. You got to get yourself in that headspace because the passion and the emotion comes from actual pain and actual feeling. So yeah, that's something that I've had to work on in my career. And, you know, just like being a talented, genetically gifted singer, you still have to have that passion and that soul and that emotion and that grit. So yes.
Are you more inspired by lyrics first, melodies first, or emotions first?
Whew. It really depends. I love to write a lot of my own music. So I would have to say what I'm saying because it depends on what you're saying to how you feel and how you would deliver, a certain bar. Would it be elevated high to another note or key? Would you change? Would you go up an octave or would you just, go down? The music also matters too. So sometimes I like to live with the song before I actually go in the booth and lay vocals. So I just know where I'm going.
If someone has never heard of you, what should they start with and why?
If someone's never heard of me, I feel like they should start with God because God is love. And all my music, I wouldn't categorize myself as a gospel, but everything that I release is about love, life, health. Health is wealth. And I'm very particular about, the message that I get out there because I know that the youth is the future and they are watching everything and they are listening. And I also have a 2-year-old and they pay attention. They don't do what you say, they do what they see. So I'm very cautious about um, everything that I sing, perform, and release.
Every artist has moments of self doubt. How do you push through those difficult days?
Oh my goodness, that's a daily battle. Um, I'm very confident in myself and my gifts and God's timing. But there are some times where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I made a bad decision, or maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have that. And I'll beat myself up, or I could have done this better. I could have done that better. But that's where your team comes in. Your team says, you know what? This is great and this is good. How do we get it all to great? Because there's a difference between good and being great, and we want to be great. So I surround myself with people like Steve Owens and obviously my Uncle Mickey, my family members that pretty much know music and understand that everything great takes time. Rome wasn't built overnight, and it's all a process. And the process is really to strengthen you, to make you greater, to make you better, to make you stronger, to make you wiser. And so, like, I'm always striving. And Steve, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your amazing show. I love A&R Tuesdays. I'm like a huge fan. I look forward to Tuesdays every week. I always learn something new every time. Because I also find like A&Ring and like listening to music and getting to know like what is happening in music is just intriguing to me because music has changed so much. Like I grew up like with the Mariah Careys and the Whitney Houstons, and now like you don't even need to have tonality or even know how to sing to be an artist. There's so many artists and there's so much music out there. But I just really enjoy learning on A&R Tuesdays. So thanks for having me, and thank you for all that you're doing in music.
Thank you. All right.
From Hollywood to Nashville, from Platinum Records to tomorrow's biggest stars, The Hitmakers Room every episode brings you exclusive conversations with the artists, producers, engineers, executives, and creative minds that shape today's music industry. Real stories, real advice, real hitmakers. Please subscribe and give us a like.